Okay, what if I told you that just 3 simple words could literally change your life? Sounds a little gimmicky, right? I get it. But today, we're going to explore the science behind how a tiny shift in the words you use can fundamentally change your reality and your results.
No, but really think about that for a second. What if the way you approach every single hassle, every roadblock you face, could be transformed just by choosing your words a little more carefully? It seems almost too simple to be true, but there's some fascinating brain science at play here that shows just how powerful this really is.
So let's dive right in. We're going to start with the word we all use, probably way too much, the word problem. As it turns out, this one little word might be holding you back in ways you don't even realize.
So here's the deal. Based on actual neuroscience, words aren't just labels we stick on things. They're triggers for your brain. A word like problem, for instance, basically hits the panic button in your brain, the amygdala. And when that happens, your smart, rational problem-solving brain just checks out. It literally primes you for anxiety, not for answers.
So think of it this way. Your brain hears the word problem and bam, it triggers that stress response. Fear, anxiety, that feeling of being totally stuck. But here's the thing, to actually find a solution, you need the total opposite of that. You need the creative, clear-headed, action-oriented part of your brain to be in charge. The word itself puts you in the wrong state of mind to fix the very thing it's describing.
So, if our brains are hardwired like this, what do? Well, let's borrow a really cool and powerful metaphor from a place you probably wouldn't expect, the world of aviation.
You see, in flying, a plane's attitude isn't about its mood. It's the literal angle of its nose relative to the horizon. And get this, if a pilot adjusts that angle by just a tiny amount, I'm talking 1 or 2 degrees, over a long flight, that plane will land in a completely different city, maybe even a different country. Well, your mental attitude works the exact same way. A small shift at the beginning changes your entire destination.
All right, this is where the rubber meets the road. We're going to take that one negative word, problem, and swap it out for 3 words that get more and more powerful as we go.
Okay, let's break this down. First, instead of we have a problem, just try saying we have a situation. See how that feels? A situation is neutral. It takes all the scary emotion out of it and just lays out the facts. Now, level 2, even better. Call it a challenge. A challenge is positive. It's something you rise to, something that makes you step up your game. But the most powerful reframe, the master level, calling it an opportunity. This literally forces your brain to stop focusing on the negative and start actively hunting for the hidden advantage.
And look, this isn't just some feel-good, positive thinking fluff. This little linguistic shift is at the absolute core of how the most successful leaders think and operate.
Think about it. The best leaders don't run from problems. Nope, they expect them. It's just part of the game. The crucial difference is, they refuse to let the problem control them. They take the wheel by deliberately choosing their words and their focus, and they actively search for the good in every single situation.
And this isn't some new age idea either. The legendary author Napoleon Hill, who studied the world's most successful people for decades, built his entire philosophy on this idea. He's basically saying your job isn't to dodge problems, it's to be a detective and find the treasure hidden inside.
This brings us to our final point. And honestly, this one might just flip your whole perspective on its head. If we're going to start seeing problems as opportunities, we also have to totally change our relationship with failure.
Let's be clear, nobody likes to fail. Leaders hate it just as much as you and I do, but they accept it. Why? Because they understand that on the journey to anything big and worthwhile, there are going to be setbacks. They know they're going to fail. For them, it's not a stop sign. It's just a mile marker on the road to success.
So I'm just going to put this up here. 2x. What on earth could that mean? What does doubling something have to do with achieving success faster?
Well, that number comes from this incredible piece of advice from Thomas J. Watson Sr., the guy who founded IBM. I mean, read that again. It completely turns common sense on its head, right? He wasn't saying go out and try to fail. He was saying that the more action you take, the more challenges you embrace, the more you experiment, the more you're going to fail. And that is the fast lane to learning, growing, and ultimately winning.
Let this one sink in, because it brings it all home. Success isn't the opposite of failure. It's what you find on the far side of failure. You have to go through all those challenges and setbacks to get there.
So what are we walking away with here? Let's boil it down.
First, your words are powerful tools that literally shape how your brain responds to life. Second, you have the power to take back control by reframing problems into neutral situations, positive challenges, or even better, game-changing opportunities. And finally, you have to start embracing failure not as the end, but as a crucial step on your way to success.
So I'm going to leave you with a challenge of your own. Think about something in your life right now, something you've been calling a problem. What would happen if today, right now, you decided to stop calling it a problem and start calling it an opportunity? What's the hidden advantage you can start looking for?